Hi guys! Well, it's December, it's officially the holiday season, Christmas is right around the corner, and I thought, let's make something really easy and fun for everyone. And I've seen this cute little reindeer cake all over Instagram, and I thought I'd make my own version. It's super cute and yet easy enough for anyone to make, and it's perfect for the holidays. So let's get to it. So I'm keeping this easy, like I said, and I'm using a Duncan Hines Devil's Food Cake Mix and chocolate frosting. I'm not making anything from scratch for this cake. First thing I'm going to do is empty the cake mix pouch that comes in the box into a bowl, and I'm going to use a whisk to break up any of the clumps. Now typically this works like a charm and there's no problems, but for whatever reason I was having some problems breaking up all of these clumps. So I transferred it to another bowl and I used a sifter and a fork to really break it up. Once I had it completely smooth and all of the lumps were gone, I transferred it back into my clear mixing bowl. Now I'm adding in a third cup of oil and 1 cup of water. Now I'm breaking my 3 eggs into a separate bowl just in case any of them are bad or I break a shell into it, because it happens even to the best of us, believe me. So to avoid having to fish them out of my cake mix, which can get a little bit messy, I like to do them in a separate bowl or container. Once all of the eggs are ready to go, I pour them into the bowl with the rest of the cake mix. Now, using my trusty hand mixer, I'm going to mix everything together. Once it's all combined, I'm going to pour my prepared cake mix into 2 6-inch round cake pans that I have greased and floured. This will make sure that the cake does not stick to my pans. Now my glass bowl can get a little bit heavy sometimes, and it can be awkward trying to pour my batter into my cake pans. So I like to use a measuring scoop to distribute it into the pans. It just makes it a little bit easier. Plus, if you like to be really precise, you can measure each pan exactly with the perfect amount of cake batter, if that's your thing. Once my pans are filled, I'm tapping them on the countertop to get out any air bubbles. Then I'm placing them into the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes. Now while my cakes are baking, I'm going to make the antlers for the top of my cake. I printed out a template I found online of some antlers, and I'm going to cut them apart so they aren't right next to each other. Now I'm going to place some chocolate candy melts into a container and put them into the microwave until they're melted down. Once they're melted, I'll stir them with a fork to remove any clumps because I want it to be nice and smooth. Now I like to get a tall cup and place my decorator bag in it and then pour my melted chocolate into the bag. It just makes it a lot easier and a lot less messy using the cup to hold open my bag. Once my bag is ready, I just snip the tip off and start tracing my antlers. I've put my printed template of antlers under a piece of wax paper, and I'm going to outline them first and then fill them in with the melted chocolate. Now I decided I want my antlers to have 2 different colors of chocolate. So I melted some dark chocolate and I melted some light chocolate. Once the dark chocolate had hardened, I then added some lighter chocolate using the same exact process. My cakes are out of the oven and they've been cooled, so now I'm going to level them using a knife so that both cakes have flat tops. Then I'm going to place 1 piece of cake onto a cake board. Now I'm using the frosting to fill the cake layers, and I'm going to use an offset spatula to spread it around and keep it nice and even. Then I'm going to add the second piece of cake right on top. Now I'm going to use that same offset spatula to spread the rest of the frosting all over the cake. Now it's up to you how you want to do the hair or the fur or whatever you'd like to call it for your reindeer. I wanted mine to be smooth, I just liked it better that way. Plus it's easy if you only have a knife and you don't really own any decorator tips. You could also use the back of a spoon to get a different type of effect for the fur of your reindeer. You could use a paper plate and just cut the side of it to make it a nice flat edge if you're having problems using the knife. I used a flat smoothing tool to make the sides perfect, but use whatever you have on hand, make it your own. So now I'm dipping some pretzel sticks into chocolate and I'm adding them to the bottoms of my hardened antlers so that they can stick into the cake and help my antlers stand up. Now my reindeer needs some eyes, and I have on hand some candy eyes. Now you could use Oreos or you could use your melted chocolate from earlier and just make some circles on your wax paper and let it harden, and that could be your eyes. But I happen to have these on hand, so I'm going to use these. I also have some sour cherry balls that I will be using for the nose. They're the perfect size. Alright, so all that's left is to start decorating the face of my reindeer. So I will use the candy eyes and the sour balls for the face, and then I'm adding my antlers, and I also made a few freckles with my melted chocolate from earlier, just to give it some extra character. Alright guys, so I thought that was it. I thought he was done. He is super cute, but after looking at him for a little bit, I just thought something was missing. I didn't like the bottom of the cake. I thought it was just too plain. It didn't look right. So I wanted to jazz him up a bit. So I broke out my chocolate sprinkles and I added some to the bottom of my cake. I just placed my cake stand on top of a piece of wax paper to catch all of those falling sprinkles and make cleaning up a little bit easier. And I just pressed the sprinkles into the bottom edge of my cake, first using my hand, but also using a knife or a little spatula. Just think it looks a lot better this way and he looks less naked, but it's up to you. But that's all I did was added a couple of sprinkles to the bottom, and now my little reindeer cake is done. He was super easy to make and super fun. I hope you guys like this video and maybe make your own reindeer cake. Thanks for watching, guys.